Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this once? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circus Sports Million, Circus Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With two former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
We live in a society right now where everybody's a snowflake, everybody's a cupcake, and everybody thinks that nothing is fair. Everything is like, it's not fair. We should have a better chance. We need more. You know what? I'm old enough to remember when you needed to have a perfect goddamn record to win a college football championship. That's the way it was. 11-1, too bad.
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
When you look at Marcus Johnson, when you look at Nikola Jokic, these aren't guys that are big, super athletic, dunking and jumping over people. These are just guys that are clean, skilled footwork, and do things below the rim that make the everyday guy look like it'd be like, I can do that. But you can't, and neither can I.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Tuesday on SportsGrid, it is game time decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh with you for the next 2 hours on what is turning into quite the Tuesday of news. Michael Vick's going to college to coach a little football, an Atlanta quarterback drama situation, pass the baton. Raheem Morris not so sure if he likes what he's getting out of Kirk Cousins. Cody Bellinger's a Yankee. All right, not mad at that. We've got loaded college basketball, a fun college football bowl game, but more important than anything, the NBA Cup Final. Once again, a roaring success. This show will always be a proponent of the NBA Cup. Year number 1, the King. LeBron wins it. Now either Giannis or Shai Gilgeous-Alexander will look to stake their claim as leading their team to the second ever Cup Final. This number's on the move a little. We're seeing 5.5, 6 in the market on OKC. At one point today, the Bucks money line as high as plus 200, which could be relevant to some. If perhaps you were with us just a few months ago, not even months, really a few weeks, when we did our Take 5 for the NBA Cup, where the number one bet was the Thunder to win it all at 12-1. If you want to ride it out, I don't blame you. I lean OKC not just to win the game, but on the side. But it is also the NBA Cup. It is single elimination. And you didn't have to wait that long. You want to grab a taste of Milwaukee? I don't hate that one bit. I know personally, because I didn't hedge anything off of OKC until this moment. And there were a few spots you could have been worried. The final day where you needed Phoenix to beat San Antonio, or a game up against the Rockets that was tight throughout on Saturday. I trusted OKC. I will say tonight, I've played a bit of Milwaukee on the other side. It would be far more profitable for the Thunder to win this whole thing, but I played a little bit, and that is respect for both of their stars. That would be Giannis and Dame. And the NBA Cup MVP tonight is bringing out some specials markets And you're seeing J-Dub enter the conversation as well. If you want to take a shot on either Jalen Williams or Lillard to win the Cup MVP, it's 11-1. Of course, the heavy expectation is it'll go to either Giannis or SGA. They are giving us the chance to pair a Cup MVP with a regular season MVP, plus 450 on SGA. You're getting 17-1 on Giannis. I am interested in Nikola Jokic's slot within the MVP race. He is the favorite. He should be. He's the best player in the world and certainly has been this season. But his candidacy, I am not sure is going to result in a full runaway. Because I still think there are some stopgaps when it comes to Nikola Jokic. It would be his fourth MVP. That's a ton of MVPs, right? I think LeBron only has 4. I mean, again, that's a ton of MVPs if Jokic is able to win another one here. It's also the Nuggets are not having a great season, right? When you compare their record, it's not all that dissimilar from Giannis's Milwaukee Bucks, who have climbed out of the depths of the NBA's standings. And it's certainly nowhere near Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's looking to run it back again as the number 1 seed in the Western Conference. I'm not sure you're maybe getting enough juice here, but I will say, I don't think the MVP race for the regular season is done and dusted. Jokic, though, the understandable favorite. Let's get to these 4 stars tonight and what we might be able to expect out of them and where we could potentially play some action. Giannis with the biggest overall expectations, a 48.5 points, rebounds, and assists number. Giannis is the main reason I've laid off some money with the Milwaukee side because a healthy Giannis Antetokounmpo still has an argument for best player in the world. He really does. And that is a thing that is not true for many players. Giannis's status in this league, for me, has been banged up because he's not been healthy in the postseason for a while now. That messes things up, okay? When you talk about Giannis Antetokounmpo. But he's healthy tonight, and that means he has the chance to blast through some of these numbers. I know some are playing a triple-double. I do not hate 40-plus, 45-plus points. I'm serious. Giannis has done it before. He is a postseason performer. He's certified in that way. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is getting there if he hasn't already arrived. SGA last year in the postseason showed just how special he was, outplaying Luka Doncic in that series against the Mavericks. Yes, Oklahoma City lost. They didn't lose because of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, I'll tell you that. A 32.5 points prop tonight. Who's getting in front of Shai numbers? Win or go home. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, it feels this Thunder team as a whole is far more likely to win. And remember, they don't even have Chet Holmgren, who is supposed to be their second best player, though you could have conversations around that. We'll talk J-Dub in a second. I will say Lillard of this group, the most tempting for me tonight. This moment, I think it's more important to Lillard than anybody else on the court tonight. It doesn't mean it's going to result in a win. What I think it will result in is volume. I think for Damian Lillard, who's never been to, of course, an NBA Finals, part of the story of Lillard, right, throughout his time in the league is don't run, and then obviously had no choice but to get to Milwaukee. He's here now. I think you see that volume. He's not had unreal efficiency. It creates that bounce-back spot. I like him over the 22.5 points. I don't mind J-Dub's 22.5 either. He's in a nice, clean bounce-back spot for this game as well. Isaiah Hartenstein's 14.5 rebounds plus assists. Not a bad prop look if you want to get involved. Quickly, and we're going to have Coach join us in a bit. The college basketball board tonight is littered with some of the top teams when you talk about the outright market. Auburn is going to play tonight. Tennessee is playing Western Carolina. The Duke Blue Devils are in the mix against George Mason. And I'm actually involved with a number of these teams' games tonight, though I am looking to take points in a few of these spots. Scary to get in front of Auburn. I'm grabbing the 39.5 with Georgia State. We saw Georgia State play Kentucky. They were able to hang just inside that number and cover, losing that game by 29. I'm grabbing the 19.5 with George Mason, a solid defensive group in a low-scoring game. I think 19.5 is just too many points. We'll get that full college card. It will include Florida and North Carolina Jumpman Invitational. Best game on the board tonight. Let's go over the 167.5. Tempo. North Carolina and R.J. Davis could get it going. I don't trust them defensively enough, though, to grab the points, even if I lean the Tar Heels direction. And then your Frisco Bowl. If you don't know, I will bet the side of all of these bowl games this year, outside of maybe the Rutgers game because of the jersey stuff. I am waiting on this number. We're in a dead zone right now, 5.5, but we'll talk about it as the night rolls on. We get Coach in the mix. It is a Basketball Tuesday here on SportsGrid.
So my team didn't win this weekend, but I still did with this app that's taking over the game. Sports Millions Pick'em lets you make quick and easy predictions. Pick your favorite players, go higher or lower, and you can still win big even if your team loses. Plus, the multiplier is insane. With just a few picks, you can win big money. So get on it. They've got a welcome bonus to help you start off your winning streak.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun. I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you've got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circus Sports Million, Circus Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With two former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
It's a new era in CFB to start off this year, put on full display.
My take on this game is simple. I know some people will be upset about it. Good riddance to the Pac-12.
Can you do it in terms of the week-to-week?
I don't see a pathway for this team to miss the college football playoffs.
We want to make sure you have those best bets in the entirety of our betting cards. That was thinking! But he had that program was already going there!
Only on SportsGrid.
We're live on SportsGrid. It's game time decisions. It is NBA Cup final night. People want storylines for the NBA. Well, get involved. Because either Giannis and the Bucks put a big one on the table that say panic, pause, now maybe we've got some juice here, or the Oklahoma City Thunder let people know, yeah, man, this is a problem. We're young and we're here. And we're ready to rock, and we don't even have Chet right now. This game's got juice. And if you don't watch this game because there's going to be too many threes, you're a weirdo. You're also not real because nobody actually does that. Now let me get off my soapbox and get the man himself, Coach James Young, into the fold. JY, it's beautiful to see you. Our time, though, it's always a little too limited for me. So tell me, what do you like tonight? NBA Cup Final, Bucks Thunder.
Kevin, it's good to talk to you. Who cares about Mike Vick going to Norfolk State or Sacramento State or all this other stuff? It's ball season, K-Dub. And you know what? I want to announce, folks, that the ambassador of the NBA Cup Relations Committee is the Kevin Walsh, because he got JY on board, and I'm all in. When it comes to the game, I like Oklahoma City. Listen, Sam Presti has proven himself to be the best GM in the NBA because he's got all those picks left. And what did we say they needed? They needed a defender and they needed a center. And I'll tell you what, Isaiah Hartenstein has been fabulous since coming back, showing a propensity more to score a little bit. And I like the way that this team is number one in the NBA in points differential. Listen, I know it's been a good run, especially by Giannis. I can't get in front of Oklahoma City Thunder right now. Give me Oklahoma City Thunder minus the points.
Laying it with OKC. JY, I lean that way. I was on the Thunder before the Cup got underway. It's funny because I could lie and tell people that, I called the outright winner 2 years in a row because everybody would just assume I was on the Lakers in year one. I was not. I was actually pretty hot on the Celtics in year number one. Ultimately, the Celtics have a weird thing with this cup. They haven't been able to figure it out just yet. I'll give you 2025 NBA Cup. I'm looking Boston's way. I'm telling you that right now. We're already a little interested. They might need to trade Tatum, though, because ultimately we know he's going to cost me money if he has anything to say about it. JY, are there props in this game that are catching your attention, though, between the Thunder and the Bucks?
Yeah, one of them I'm looking at is Isaiah Hartenstein. We just talked about over 11.5 points, over in 6 of his 10 games so far. And I think his ability that, I love that little push shot. I think it gives them something, especially without Chet. Gets him going a little bit. 11.5 seems to be a light number. I think he can find himself getting to a category of about 15 plus. So I like Isaiah Hartenstein over 11.5 points. Giannis over rebounds. I think Giannis is going to do everything in his power to get this team to win. He looks engaged. He looks fired up. Remember, the last time he played Oklahoma City Thunder last year, he got 19 rebounds. Sorry, it went from 11.5 to 12.5, so do shop around. It is 12.5, I'm sorry. But Giannis to get over 12.5 rebounds, I absolutely love tonight. And because Hartenstein plays a big role, Kevin, I'm going to my Brook Lopez low-hanging fruit. Rebounds, 4.5, because I'm 6'5". I'm 6'6". Kevin's a little bit shorter than me, but he's a stretch 4. I'm more of a 5. I don't understand how this guy can't get 5 rebounds. 5. I ain't asking for 10. I want 5 rebounds. He gets it tonight. Brook Lopez over 4.5 rebounds tonight.
All right, a little love there for Brook, something that has been driving Coach nuts as long as I've known him, quite frankly. JY, let me ask you something big picture NBA, if I can. We're hearing more trade talk within the association earlier than we're used to as well, right? I don't know if teams want to wait around for the deadline. We may get a superstar deal done with Jimmy Butler. My read on the situation is the Heat will gladly send Jimmy to Phoenix if they bring back Bradley Beal, maybe a pick or another piece on top of it. I think Phoenix would do a Jimmy for Beal swap. It probably comes down to, would Bradley Beal waive his no-trade clause to be dealt off of the Suns to the Miami Heat? What is your read on this Jimmy Butler situation?
Well, listen, the Jimmy Butler situation, we knew was coming to a head last year, right? When he wanted the extension and Riles wanted him to play. And it's interesting that Jimmy Butler's been playing better as of late. So, yeah, I think it makes sense to go to a spot like Phoenix where he can load up with a couple of superstars where he could be the number 3 scoring option. Let's be honest, if you're looking at Phoenix, the best type of ability is dependability, availability. And with Bradley Beal, you can't trust him. So if you could swap out, Bradley Beal for Jimmy Butler, you got the same production, just as good of a player, probably better defensively. But more importantly, Kevin, someone that wants to get the bag, wants to get the check, and wants to stick it to Riles a little bit. So I think that trade makes sense for both sides. And if you look at a team like, Miami getting Bradley Beal back, he will become probably he could be the number 1 or number 2 scoring option, depending on what you think with seeing him and Tyler Hero. So it actually makes sense for both sides to make this deal. But Kevin, there's so many other guys that are going to get moved. What happens with Zach LaVine? He's going to get moved at some point. We saw the Nets already trade Dennis Schroeder. You got to watch the Pelicans really, really closely because that team has imploded with injuries. DeJounte Murray gets hurt. Zion, that guy should be on a milk box carton. We ain't going to see his behind until next year probably. What do they do with B.I.? What do they do with McCollum? Herb Jones. So there's going to be a lot of movement. Valanciunas is another guy that can get moved. D'Angelo Russell. So it's going to be interesting, Kevin. I think there's going to be a flurry of moves, and I think it may start early, like you said, because I think teams want to start making shape to make runs at the playoffs.
Seeding could matter, right? And with the play-in and deeper conferences, ultimately, a team like the Lakers, right, would love to get whatever deal done they want to get done now instead of in February, where it could be too late. You only have 20 games left to build that connective tissue there. We are going to hit a quick break here. Coach is going to stick around for a couple more minutes, get some college basketball picks from JY as well. It is a busy Tuesday right here on SportsGrid.
Sharpest football contest show in the land. The Las Vegas Football Contest Show focuses on Circus Sports Million, Circus Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With 2 former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
Uncle Stevie can just walk up the aisle like he's at the supermarket. I'll get a starting pitcher here, I'll get a closer here, I'll get a first baseman here, and he'll just keep throwing things in the cart because there is no limit.
Now he's gone, so they got to go get arms to make that team better. Because the bottom line was they were just outclassed by the Dodgers. Let's face it, they got their ass beat.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
I'm actually not even on a side today.
Yeah.
And I'll get to that. Why are you on Texas?
I gave them a chance. Maybe not me as the overwhelming authority in college football, but entering that game on this set to you guys, I said there was one elite defense entering the matchup in Austin back to end out October. It's not the Bulldogs like it used to be. It is Texas.
College football today, only on SportsGrid.
The 2 guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
All right, we're live to right here. It's Game Time Decisions. Kevin Walsh, we're with Coach James Young. JY, fly through it for me. What do we like on the college board here? Packed Tuesday slate.
Oh, what a slate tonight. I mean, what a slate. I got about 7 of them, so I'm just going to rattle them off for everybody. Number 1, I'm going to go over in DePaul, St. John's over 150.5. Both teams have dynamic offenses, and I think Pitino plays this style. They want to get up and down like the old Pitino days of Kentucky. He's got the offense. Their defense isn't so great. DePaul can score. I think the over-under is 150.5. I'll take the over in that game. Next, Duke minus 19.5. Kevin and I are against each other with this. Duke, I think, needs to get rolling a little bit. They've been spotty at times. but I do like a minus a 19.5 points. Third, I'm going to the logic that Dave Sharapan taught me. When you have a home team that is a short dog versus a ranked road favorite, you take the home dog. And that is South Carolina plus 2.5 versus Clemson. Clemson's done really well, but they don't typically play well outside of Little John Fieldhouse. And this is a rivalry in-state game. Next, Ole Miss minus 24.5 versus Southern. I think Chris Beard's team continues to play well. Kevin and I are in agreement. UNC Florida. Listen, Florida with Walter Clayton III can absolutely score. North Carolina can score. North Carolina don't play no defense. You think 167 is a lot of points? I don't think so. I'm going over. I think there's going to be a boatload of points. You like overs? I'll give you an under. Seton Hall, Villanova. Seton Hall, yikes, offensively. But the one thing Shaheen Holloway has done a great job of is trying to compete and try to make it a half-court game. Villanova has looked markedly better since Eric Rodel became the AD, has put pressure on Kyle Neptune. They have played better. But I do think Shaw finds a way to shorten this game. I think it's 126.5. I still think it's under. I don't know if either team gets to 60 tonight. That's how low scoring this game's going to be. And lastly, I'm going to talk real quick. The best team that no one talks about, Drake. This guy comes in with a bunch of D2 kids that play his style. They're going on the road to play Kansas State and I call him Clubber Tang. Tangy Fresh. Tangy Fresh is getting a loss, but I'm going to take the 1.5. Give me Drake tonight.
All right, a little love there for Drake from Coach. You mentioned the over in that game between Florida and UNC. Excited to watch Walter Clayton go head-to-head there with R.J. Davis. I mean, Jay White is a shout-out to Iona whenever the kid takes the court.
I mean, listen, at the end of the day, if we're going to shout out Iona, let's shout out Rick Pitino, who's doing a great job with St. John. I think I may have got kicked off there. I'll see you guys next time. Have a good night.
Good stuff there from Coach. I mean, listen, I'm just saying, I don't know. We really want to praise Rick for leaving Iona. He said he wasn't going to leave. Not great. You know, we're holding him to it. Let me just say, we're going to go through your college slate tonight a little bit more, but Florida, North Carolina is a game that did beat me up a little bit as I try to figure out my favorite way to play it. A 10-0 Florida team against a 6-4 UNC team, the preseason expectation certainly would suggest really both of those are a bit surprising. Florida had some juice. I don't think people thought they had 10 games unbeaten to start their season juice. Now, part of that is, of the teams currently inside the top 10 on KenPom, nobody's played an easier schedule than the Florida Gators. It's not been 10 games of nobodies, but it's 10 games of a lot of teams that are probably even a little more disappointing than people thought. Your Wake Forests, your Virginias of the world, Arizona State, people were a little low on, and they've certainly not lived up to any billing there, and Florida rolled that team. For North Carolina, at 6-4, you look at the 4 losses, Kansas, Auburn, Michigan State, and Alabama, and you go, that's all right. Those are really good ball clubs. Yeah, but you got to win some of the games if you're going to be one of the best teams in college basketball. Remind you, this was a preseason top 10 team in North Carolina. Kansas lost super close on the road, got it. Auburn right now is a machine. You lose by 8. Okay, not the worst thing that's ever happened. Sparty's an OT loss, tough. Getting rolled by Bama in your building's not great. And now the Dayton win, which is the big win, it was a massive, kind of improbable comeback. It doesn't mean they don't get credit for it, but they were a 9.5-point favorite in that game. So, ultimately a 2-point win isn't necessarily something the Tar Heels can hang their hat on. So the side to me was tricky. I felt comfort in the over when I look at this Florida resume. They've played a lot of defenses that grade out as well as UNC's. Arizona State, Virginia, Wake. But North Carolina is so much faster than all of them. The pace tonight is really going to dictate that 167.5 being vulnerable. We'll get to the rest of the college card next here on SportsGrid.
sharpest football contest show in the land. The Las Vegas Football Contest Show focuses on Circus Sports Million, Circus Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With two former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
Uncle Stevie can just walk up the aisle like he's at the supermarket. I'll get a starting pitcher here, I'll get a closer here, I'll get a first baseman here, and he'll just keep throwing things in the cart because there is no limit.
Now he's gone, so they got to go get arms to make that team better. Because the bottom line was they were just outclassed by the Dodgers. Let's face it, they got their ass beat.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
I'm actually not even on a side today.
Yeah.
And I'll get to that. Why are you on Texas?
I gave them a challenge. Maybe not me as the overwhelming authority in college football, but entering that game on this set to you guys, I said there was one elite defense entering the matchup in Austin back to end out October. It's not the Bulldogs like it used to be. It is Texas.
College football today, only on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
All right, we're back with you right here on SportsGrid Game Time Decisions. The college basketball board tonight is certainly plentiful. Mentioned the over in Florida, UNC. One of a few picks for me tonight, 6 right now on my college basketball card. Let's get to the rest of the totals before we get to the side. I am also going to play the over in Ole Miss Southern. This number checks in at 143.5. Very interesting. Southern played a game against Texas A&M, which went well under the listed total. Yet that total was the same exact 143.5 number. And this is not the first time this is, interestingly enough, happened with the two SEC teams in Ole Miss and Texas A&M, where the games are booked with the same total, but they do not get the same result. Both A&M and Ole Miss played a game against Purdue. We saw a bang under with A&M Purdue, just 136 points. We saw a bang over when it was Ole Miss Purdue with 158 points scored. And it, again, completely matches what you would expect. Ole Miss is better offensively than A&M, worse defensively than A&M, faster than A&M. So to see this number tonight at 143.5, I think is a nice opportunity. We're going to look for some points here as we've got Ole Miss and Southern with a listed total of 143.5. I'm going to play the team total over for Dayton at 75.5. This is an odd one for me. The number does look light on the Flyers, who are at home, and they are coming off of a win in the same exact building against Marquette. The game against Marquette was a round pick, right? Some spots probably closed, shading the Golden Eagles. Some closed Dayton. There's very likely a 10-point gap between that of UNLV and Marquette, yet we see this number checked in here tonight at 10.5. Though I don't want to lay a huge number with the Flyers here when it is their offense that I'm trying to attack with anyway. I saw UNLV make the trip to Creighton, an offense that is not as good as Dayton's. Play a little faster, sure, but not as good as Dayton's this season. And they allowed 83 points. I think 75.5 is a nice number. We saw Miss State put 80-plus up on UNLV as well. Let's get over to 75.5 tonight for Dayton. Your sides. Some big numbers out there, no doubt. It starts with Duke George Mason. The Duke Blue Devils, the team who I bet to win the national championship at the college game, who this season has handed Auburn its only loss. And for Duke, that was certainly a big deal. Since that, though, we've seen Duke play some bang unders here. An under against Incarnate Word and another under against Louisville. You look tonight now, you get this really low total, 136.5. I think maybe it's come up a little bit from some 135.5s. But now you have Duke laying a really big number in what is supposed to be a much lower scoring game. Now, Duke certainly could get the job done in that fashion because it is their defense that is dictating a lot of the number, though they are not solely responsible for that. George Mason currently grades out as one of the better offenses in terms of, or defenses, of teams that are playing at the mid-major level right now. It's nearly top 50, and they play at one of those slower tempos as well. They're outside of the top 250 when you talk about quickest teams in college basketball. So I think George Mason can hang inside this number. I know their game against Marquette this year was not a cover, but it was a 19-point loss against Marquette, and I think Marquette's a little bit quicker. I think the nature of the Golden Eagles makes it a little bit easier to create that separation than it will tonight for Duke. I mentioned Auburn. You can tell how excited I am for this one, but I had to play Georgia State catching 39.5. Auburn is decimating teams to the degree that grabbing this many points doesn't even feel all that comfortable. Auburn just won by 38 against Ohio State on a neutral court. The game before that, they played Richmond. They beat them by a smooth 44 points, laying 29.5. I just feel as if those were a little, I'm not trying to downgrade Auburn. Just a little situational. It is hard to beat everyone you play by 40, right? Richmond had it coming to them. It was Auburn coming off of their first loss. Ohio State, maybe to some degree, had it coming to them. It was Auburn in a new step-up game, right? Because the Duke loss was probably still sat with them a little bit. Now, tonight, you're playing Georgia State, and a 35-point win is great for Auburn and great for me because that's inside the number. Georgia State went to Kentucky. They were in that basketball game catching 30.5. They lost by 29. It's a tidy little cover. I also, maybe I'm nuts, I don't think Auburn's 9-10 points better than Kentucky. I'm trying to buy low here on the Panthers. Again, relatively speaking, the Tigers are a wagon. I am going to lay a big number tonight. I laid 33.5 with UCLA against the Prairie View A&M Panthers. Look, Prairie View is atrocious. They have one win in their first 10 games this season, and it came against the College of Biblical Studies. Yeah, that's how it's going right now for Prairie View. One of the fastest teams in college basketball, one of the worst defenses in college basketball against UCLA, who is slow and excellent defensively. I think the Bruins will be able to score at will, and I don't think they're going to let their foot off the gas here against Prairie View, who did have a fun, exciting attaboy cover against Mississippi State. They caught 38.5 in that game. They were tied at half. Proceeded to lose the game by 7. I think UCLA, again, I think we're getting a little bit of value tonight on a 33.5. The number's climbing in some spots. We're going to have Brady Cannon join us in just a couple of moments here. Do some look-ahead NFL. Really interesting situation with the Falcons and what bettors may do with that number now that the Michael Penix situation is beginning. But I just want to quickly reiterate with the college football tonight. Again, I am kind of giving myself the little challenge, if you will, bet all these bowl games on the side. I know there's probably some irony in that because there are people who do that without any type of personal challenge set for them. What we have the game sat in a dead zone. So they ended up popping, the opening number was a field goal, 3.5 in spots of West Virginia laying. They fire Neil Brown. We know they're going to bring Rich Rod in next year. Portal. And this number shifts a lot. At points today, we saw 6s out there, maybe a 6.5. I wanted to see if we could touch 7. At that point, then, I would probably say, all right, We've moved enough. I'll take the 7 points. Maybe West Virginia plays for Chad Scott, running backs coach, offensive coordinator, has been there for a very long time, and we could stay inside this number. But the reality is the West Virginia defense is getting beat up by the portal. The defense was atrocious. It gave up the third most yards per pass attempt in all of college this season. All of college, which is incredible when you consider this a power-level school. Memphis is out there with Seth Hennigan, who can absolutely rip heaters. And mind you, West Virginia this year didn't beat a single team that finished above 500. They picked on the bottom feeders of the Big 12. Maybe Memphis, is Memphis good enough to win the Big 12? No. Would Memphis have been good enough to hang in the Big 12? I think yes, and you're getting the worst version of West Virginia. Right now, this is likely going to end with me betting Memphis, but since we're in a dead zone, right? Under a touchdown, I'm laying it with Memphis. I'm now going to wait and see, can I get 4.5? 4. Waiting to get to the best of the number for what's going to be a 9 o'clock kick right now at the Frisco Bowl, where it looks like, again, barring some late crazy news shifting this number a ton, we're going to lay this number here with Memphis tonight against West Virginia. Let's get Brady Cannon in the mix with us. What do we do if Michael Penix steps in for Kirk Cousins? Bump? Downgrade? Stay away? The third option might not be a bad idea. We'll ask Brady on the other side.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circus Sports Million, Circus Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With 2 former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
Uncle Stevie can just walk up the aisle like he's at the supermarket. I'll get a starting pitcher here, I'll get a closer here, I'll get a first baseman here, and he'll just keep throwing things in the cart because there is no limit.
Now he's gone, so they got to go get arms to make that team better. Because the bottom line was they were just outclassed by the Dodgers. Let's face it, they got their ass beat.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
I'm actually not even on a side today.
Yeah.
And I'll get to that. Why are you on Texas?
I gave them a chance. Maybe not me as the overwhelming authority in college football, but entering that game on this set to you guys, I said there was one elite defense entering the matchup in Austin back to end out October. It's not the Bulldogs like it used to be. It is Texas.
College football today, only on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Live with you right here on SportsGrid. It is Game Time Decisions. We've got our guy Brady Cannon stomping by to talk some look-ahead lines for the NFL, and I want to kind of bring in kind of a developing story with the Atlanta Falcons head coach Raheem Morris hitting the podium, asked about the quarterback position, and didn't commit to Kirk Cousins. Kirk's been bad. I don't think anybody would have batted an eye if Raheem Morris defended Cousins, considering the contract suggests Kirk's going to be the quarterback next year, much less the rest of this season. At least that was the assumption. Brady, we're now maybe going to get Michael Penix next week. I'm currently seeing Atlanta as a 9.5-point favorite against the New York Giants at home. If Penix gets the job, how would you potentially adjust some numbers?
Boy, I tell you, I'd probably go lower on the Falcons. I don't know what has happened to Kirk Cousins. He came out of the bye week and threw 4 interceptions against the Chargers. Right. They really never should have lost that game. Justin Herbert was held to under 150 yards passing. It's really weird how he's gone south so quickly, because it wasn't that long ago that we saw this guy throwing for 500 yards and, was having a pretty darn good season. This entire team has really kind of fallen off of a cliff, and a lot of it is due to, Kirk Cousins and that offense really going south so quickly. I don't know how it turned so quickly here, but it would probably be worse, I think, with Penix, because he's had no experience. He is a rookie. I couldn't believe this number opened 10. Now, we've seen it come back in the direction that I thought it would. I made it 4.5. I mean, the Atlanta Falcons were 6-point favorites here in Las Vegas against the Raiders. Okay, that number was originally 4. It went to 6 when we found out it was going to be Desmond Ridder. And they were, that close to losing that game. A Hail Mary being converted away to losing that game outright. So it's a pretty soft 6 points that they truly won that game by. And are the Giants better or worse than the Raiders? They got to be somewhat similar. The Raiders with Ridder and without Max Crosby. And now we're going to make the Falcons 10-point favorites at home. I downgraded the Falcons yet again. I mean, it's like 3 straight downgrades in a row for them on a week-to-week basis. So I don't know how they were double-digit favorites over anybody. And I don't really care who's at quarterback in that regard, Kevin. Now, I'm not necessarily running to the window to take the Giants, but I thought 10, even 9 is too many in my opinion.
Yeah, I hear it. I don't want to be a scorned bettor as somebody who very confidently got to the window on Sunday with the Giants against Baltimore. Different level of team. I do think that the Boyle drop-off was a big part of that, having no chance. He is a It really is ridiculous that he gets work in the NFL. He was bad in college. He's been bad in the NFL. He's been around a decade. It's a little embarrassing. It is what it is. I think you have 2 teams that not many people will be interested in betting on whatsoever. I will just say, just at a big level with this story, if they bench Kirk, I have to imagine that means he is traded in the offseason. And at that point then, Brady, I'll bring your team into this, who you know well. But, man, Kyle Shanahan, like a number of coaches, they all love Kirk Cousins. And I wonder if Kirk all of a sudden would come off cheaper than paying Brock Purdy all that money if there would be some interest from the 49ers.
If they can get him at a bargain, Kevin, if the scenario you're suggesting plays out and he's benched and then he becomes, trade bait and what have you, and the Niners can get him for a song, then yeah, I think Kyle would bring him in, and with the thoughts of maybe being a backup, but also having the competition with Brock Purdy. I think the Niners are all in on Brock Purdy. And I don't think Brock Purdy is nearly as bad as some of the games he has looked like this year. I think it's more of a product of that entire team. They're extremely injured. They really have been all year. The Super Bowl hangover is real. They've never really been able to get out of their own way. They played a brilliant, brilliant game in week 1 against the New York Jets. And it's really never been as good ever since. So I don't think Purdy, you look at him right now, you look at him the last few weeks, and you're like, boy, this guy isn't a $55 million a year guy. But I think he's probably going to end up signing for that. And I think Purdy's fine. I think Purdy is a very good quarterback. Again, I think what we're seeing is a bad team in total. And yeah, we know that Shanahan has always had that love affair with Cousins. If he could bring him in like a Sam Darnold, like he did last year, as a real, as obviously one of the best backups in the league and compete for that starting position, possibly, I could see it happening. I'd probably bet against it, though, because you're probably not going to necessarily get him too cheap. And I don't know if Cousins is ready to assume that backup role.
Yeah, I think Kirk would only be coming in as a starter. What I would say for Purdy is Brock Purdy an NFL starting quarterback? Yes. Is Brock Purdy worth resetting the market? No. And if there are issues with the team, as you say, Brady, and I know the injuries have a lot to do with that, it'll be hard to address some of them if you're paying Brock Purdy something that almost everybody agrees he isn't worth. They have a really interesting game in South Beach on Sunday where I feel as if Miami's struggles against Houston have really kept this line much lower than maybe the books would have thought it would be a week ago.
I couldn't believe the Dolphins came out as the favorite. I made San Francisco a 3-point favorite, and believe me, I'm not high on the Niners. But the Dolphins aren't that good either. I think we saw that, and especially when they play good teams, Kevin. I mean, they have been awful performing against teams above 500, and I guess the Niners don't actually qualify. But I think they have a lot more talent. I don't know if they have a lot more healthy talent, but I would expect that Trent Williams should be back for this game. I think he was close last week. Nick Bosa returned to action. Dre Greenlaw, we'll see if he's on a higher pitch count than he was on Thursday night. They've got extra rest coming into this one. You know, we still don't have, obviously, Mason or, McCaffrey. The running back team is still down. The receiving core is banged up. It's just been the story of this Niner team all year long. But still, I was pretty surprised to see Miami favored.
Yeah, I think it's a very interesting spot. I think Tua, after that game against Houston, gives off an unbettable vibe. Brady's going to stick around. We'll talk a little bit more about your upcoming slate next.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circus Sports Million, Circus Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With two former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
Uncle Stevie can just walk up the aisle like he's at the supermarket. I'll get a starting pitcher here, I'll get a closer here, I'll get a first baseman here, and he'll just keep throwing things in the cart because there is no limit.
Now he's gone, so they got to go get arms to make that team better. Because the bottom line was they were just outclassed by the Dodgers. Let's face it, they got their ass beat.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
I'm actually not even on a side today.
Yeah.
And I'll get to that. Why are you on Texas?
I gave them a challenge. Maybe not me as the overwhelming authority in college football, but entering that game on this set to you guys, I said there was one elite defense entering the matchup in Austin back to end out October. It's not the Bulldogs like it used to be. It is Texas.
College football today, only on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
All right, we're back with you right here on SportsGrid. We're joined by Brady Cannon. Want to talk about some of the upcoming games for this Sunday. And I do have to ask you about this, Brady. I don't know what your thoughts were heading into the game against Dallas, but I imagine the books won't be rushing to make Carolina a favorite, much less a field goal favorite, anytime soon again. It was just one of those instances where the Panthers, hanging with good teams, again, got them a lot of respect, and then the rug pulled out from right underneath them, and now are catching 4.5 points from Arizona after they just laid 3 to Dallas.
Yeah, I had a feeling that was going to be an ugly Sunday for Carolina, assuming the role of favorite. After they had been kind of achieving above their heads, for many weeks in a row, given the Chiefs' troubles, beating the Saints, beating the Giants, being very, very competitive and really turning their season around. Canales doing a really good job. Bryce Young, doesn't look like the bust we all thought he was, and maybe he still is, but he's been turning some heads for sure. And then they get cast into the role of the favorite, and all of a sudden they have expectations. I didn't think that was going to go well, and it did not. On the other hand, I think 4 or 4.5 is too many to give the Panthers here against the Arizona Cardinals. I think the Cardinals have shown in the last few weeks they maybe aren't the team we thought they were either. Now, they really put it on the Patriots, but I think that says probably a lot about the Patriots. The Cardinals should have beaten the Vikings, and then they come home and they really got stomped by the Seattle Seahawks. So this team is a little bit fickle. I think they're a decent team. They struggle on defense still. That's really been their Achilles heel all season long. The Panthers struggle on defense as well. But I made the number 2.5 in favor of Arizona. I thought 4 was a few too many. I could accept a 3, but I think, 3, 3.5, and even 4 certainly would be a take with the home team here.
I couldn't agree more. We'll watch it develop, but just look, I know that the way I do it with the spread math is maybe not everybody's cup of tea, but this would suggest Arizona is 7.5 points better than Dallas on a neutral field. No, they're not. No, so it means It means we've overcorrected probably, and I think that's the case here. One team I am sure the books are adjusting again is the Chicago Bears. I mean, it's like they keep one-upping themselves for like worst game of the year, heartbreaking loss. They've lost 8 games in a row. Which is the second longest streak in the league behind the Vegas Raiders, catching almost a full touchdown at home against the Detroit Lions this coming Sunday.
I made it 7.5. And
wow.
I think the hard part here is to calculate it properly with the Lions' injuries. And by the way, they suffered a couple more injuries on that defensive side of the ball this past Sunday. So I've really got to dive in and look at these injuries. They should, you would think, start to be getting some players back. It's kind of been a revolving door there as far as the injured list for Detroit. Pretty soon, some of these guys have to be starting to get healthy. The word all along was that a lot of these players are going to be ready for the postseason. So that would tell me that some of them may be ready as soon as this week. We will see. You're going to have to look long and hard, I think, at that Detroit Lions injury report before you make a play on this game. Maybe you just stay away. I'm close to the number, obviously. I'm on the other side of 7, which is a big deal. The current line on the less than 7 at 6.5. But I don't know about these Bears, man. I thought they might show up in a division game last night.
So did I.
And it's not just that they're a complete mess. I don't know if I think this coach is in over his head. It's a tear down and start over again, and not completely start over. I think a lot of people overreact to Caleb Williams. I think we all also understand that he does have a ton of talent. I think he's going to be fine. They need work on the offensive line. They have some weapons. They need probably a few upgrades here and there. I don't think they're a long ways away as far as talent, really, on both sides of the ball. But organizationally, the coaching, they need to hit refresh in a hurry. Detroit should win the game. I don't think any problem. And Campbell continues to do it. When it looks like they're, down to their last gasp, they find a way to get it done. And I think we kind of see that here again. I want to lay the points with the Lions before I took it with Chicago, even though they have been much better at home against the number.
It's one of those spots where if it gets to 7, I might have to bet to Chicago. So I'll probably hope it doesn't, so I can just leave it alone.
I hear you.
And not kind of deal with the headache. Brady, appreciate it. As always, wish you the best of luck with the week ahead here. We'll be right back. We're live with you on SportsGrid.
sharpest football contest show in the land. The Las Vegas Football Contest Show focuses on Circa Sports Million, Circa Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With two former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
Uncle Stevie can just walk up the aisle like he's at the supermarket. I'll get a starting pitcher here, I'll get a closer here, I'll get a first baseman here, and he'll just keep throwing things in the cart because there is no limit.
Now he's gone, so they got to go get arms to make that team better. Because the bottom line was they were just outclassed by the Dodgers. Let's face it, they got their ass beat.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
I'm actually not even on a side today.
Yeah.
And I'll get to that. Why are you on Texas?
I gave them a chance. Maybe not me as the overwhelming authority in college football, but entering that game on this set to you guys, I said there was one elite defense entering the matchup in Austin back to end out October. It's not the Bulldogs like it used to be. It is Texas.
College football today, only on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
All right, back at the right here. It is game time decisions. Quickly, I know a lot of these games are going to tip. I just want to re-rack the college basketball card tonight, and I'll just kind of read it off. I know that these things usually tip on time, which is great, but if you're still looking, Florida UNC over 167.5. Dayton team total over 75.5. They're going to play UNLV. Give me Ole Miss Southern through the number as well, over 143.5. Going to take the points with George Mason going up against Duke. Going to take the points with Georgia State, going up against Auburn, and lastly, going to lay the points tonight with UCLA. 33.5 is that number against Prairie View A&M. A lot of games that are going to be getting underway here. We were just talking about the NFL with Brady, and we did start it off kind of with the conversation that we're hearing around now the quarterback position in Atlanta. And yesterday, Atlanta goes out there and wins a football game. And I think that if Raheem Morris wanted to, he could have very easily said, look, we won. We're sticking with Kirk. You know, he's our leader. We trust him. And, you know, we got a big game coming up against the Giants. Here's the reality on the Falcons. They're one game back of Tampa Bay. They own the tiebreaker due to the fact that they swept the Bucs actually this season. The Falcons are a much bigger favorite this week than the Bucs are, right? It is not out of the realm of possibility whether I think it'll happen or not, right? But in that room, that the Falcons head into the final two games in first place, in control of their own destiny, in control of their playoff lives. I would even say it's probably favored that the Falcons' playoff chances will still be alive heading into the regular season finale against Carolina. Last night here on the desk, it was myself, Donnie, and Joe, and I just brought up the notion of, would Michael Penix play if the last game of the season doesn't matter? Home against Carolina. Again, I think that's unlikely, but it could happen, right? The Bucs control their own destiny right now with everything. So, and that to me was a very real debate due to the nature of football Kirk's been playing. You throw Penix out there, at home against Carolina, he lights it up, you might have opened Pandora's box. You might get to the point of no return all of a sudden. Well, now, Raheem Morris is telling us, yeah, Kirks doesn't got it. And he's not wrong. In Kirk Cousins' last 5 games, he has thrown 1 touchdown pass and 9 interceptions. 1 touchdown pass, 9 interceptions. The Falcons in those games have scored 17, 6, 13, 21, and 15. The offense is abysmal. And it starts at the quarterback position, undoubtedly. Undoubtedly. So, I don't think Raheem Morris would be wrong to pivot to Michael Penix if the quarterback position operated solely based on who is performing and who is not. We know circumstances matter a lot, very heavily. And the circumstances around Kirk Cousins are his contract. Many of us have at least thought, guarantee he will be on the Falcons next year as their starter. Well, if you bench this guy right now, how is Kirk back? How do you possibly go to Kirk Cousins again next year? Open competition? Look, realistically, if Michael Penix is going to start for you next year, Kirk's going to cost you money whether he's on the roster or not. Might as well not be. Might as well see if a team will trade for him. And look, I'm not trying to attack Cousins. I don't really blame him. I'm not sure how much of it is his fault, but I don't think we are getting the sense that Cousins is probably going to be great to be around if he loses the job, considering he was understandably furious when they drafted Michael Penix. So you're probably better off with him not there. Well, you just have this, again, unforeseen situation, I think, in Atlanta, high or low, that this quickly would fall apart. We were here in the studio on draft night. The decision to both pay Kirk Cousins and draft Michael Penix was outrageous. To do both of those things was completely indefensible, in my opinion. You pick one. If you want to draft Penix and bring him along slowly, you don't need to pay Kirk all that money. If you want to bring in Kirk Cousins to be win now, take advantage of what can sometimes be a vulnerable division in the NFC South, great. Draft a position player that can come in and help right away. Whatever, or an offensive lineman or defensive superstar. Jared Verse, anybody? Quinyon Mitchell? Run double tight ends and take Brock Bowers. I don't really care. The decisions that the Falcons have made have forced them into this situation. But now, things get doubly interesting if Kirk hits the block. Because you're going to get suitors. You just are. Titans, Niners, Jets. You're going to get suitors. You just are. Really. So, this gets very interesting if they make this move here. And Penix will be set up to succeed if he takes over for these final 3. Giants, Commanders, Carolina. Not bad. And here's the thing. You won't be able to look at it and go, man, what a shame for Kirk. He missed out on the easy ones. The Raiders were the easiest of the bunch. So there's no real defending it. And I wonder if Raheem Morris is looking to make this move because his job's on the line. Because if you're Raheem Morris, right? Look, sometimes, man, this can come down to quarterback or coach. It could be both. It could be, and maybe sometimes they don't fire the right guy. But if Raheem Morris is thinking to himself, man, it's me or him, well, I need to prove to them it's not my fault. If we play Penix, if we win, if we score, you start to really change the equation now, big time, when we think about the Atlanta Falcons. I will add this quickly. I talked about, just because we're talking about yesterday's games for a second here, we're going to bring Dave Sharapan on in a minute. The Chicago Bears. How massively they messed up by firing Matt Eberflus. Because now, what I think would have been the best job available, without a doubt, I don't think it's going to be one of the 3 best jobs this offseason. And I say that as somebody still in on Caleb Williams, who still thinks Caleb Williams can be one of your 10 best quarterbacks in football at some point in time. I now think if you're Ben Johnson, I'm not going there. No shot. I'd rather go to the Giants, the Jets, Dallas, Vegas. If Jacksonville calls, I'm taking the Jags job. You can call me crazy. There's a number of reasons. I'll throw you this one. You really want to jump in that division with Dan Campbell, Matt LaFleur, and Kevin O'Connell? Yeah. No thanks. No thanks. And Sig's next.
So my team didn't win this weekend, but I still did with this app that's taking over the game. Sports Millions Pick'em lets you make quick and easy predictions. Pick your favorite players, go higher or lower, and you can still win big even if your team loses. Plus, the multiplier is insane. With just a few picks, you can win big money. So get on it. They've got a welcome bonus to help you start off your winning streak.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circus Sports Million, Circus Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With 2 former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
It's a new era in CFP to start off this year, put on full display.
My take on this game is simple. I know some people will be upset about it. Good riddance to the Pac-12.
Can you do it in terms of the week to week to week?
I don't see a pathway for this team to miss the college football playoffs.
We want to make sure you have those best bets in the entirety of our betting cards.
That was
thinking! But he had that program was already going there!
Only on SportsGrid.
All right, we're back with you right here on Game Time Decisions. I made the move in the Frisco Bowl, laying 5 with Memphis at -110. I've had it up here. It's bounced around. I played that on DraftKings. That number on DK did shoot up to 5.5 at one point. It came back down to 5. An hour and 45 to go. I think watching it go up to 5.5, come back down to 5 tells me we're never getting to 7 ever. And it just doesn't, like, if we get to 4.5, not as valuable. If we get to 4 before kick, I'd be a little disappointed in myself. but I don't even think that that's really on the board. I don't. And I'll recap this for people a little bit, but I went through this game, and I wanted to bet West Virginia. I wanted to I'll be on the island. I'll grab the falling knife, right? This number opened -3, -3.5 West Virginia. We've moved too far. The more you look at it, if these teams were fully healthy and ready to go, I'm not sure West Virginia should have been booked as a favorite. They give up the third most yards per pass attempt in all of college football this year at 9. Hannigan can grip it and rip it. But West Virginia lost a ton of talent into the portal when they fired Neil Brown. Understandable. That's how this stuff works. Memphis is kind of running it back. And you have now a 10-2, right, mid-major team looking to show we should have been given more respect, which is valid, to be honest with you. 10-2, and you're playing a bottom feeder from the Big 12. I don't love that. I think Memphis did get a little disrespected in this slot here. West Virginia didn't beat a single team this season above 500. Oklahoma State, Arizona, they played Kansas before they understood how to win a football game. So I'm happy to lay the 5 with Memphis here, ultimately. Now let's bring in Dave Sharapan, looking as good as ever. Consig. I mean, you pulled up in a suit last night. I took note. Yep. I didn't think it could be outdone. You outdid it comfortably. You look great.
I mean, listen, they got us. This is the last time we're speaking for 2025, the way this schedule's working out.
It's a good point.
And I said, listen, I can't go on in the 3-piece today. I was going to suit up for you. I suited up yesterday, wore the purple suit. Not because it's the Joker, but because the Vikings was so easy yesterday. And the Vikings didn't even wear purple at home.
Right.
Had me aggravated with the all whites. You wear the all whites on the road. Okay, they were clean. I get it. That's what the kids say. But I said, I'm going on with K-Dub. It's December 17th.
Yep.
I gotta make sure that I leave an indelible mark on the kid, the most unbiased man.
Thank you.
In sports media.
Appreciate it.
Now. And the Steelers went into Philly.
Yeah.
5-point dogs. And
that's right.
It's nighttime in Pittsburgh behind me.
Yeah.
But it's Philly on my body. It's Philly on my mind. And I figured you'd appreciate it. I mean, it was either this or the Buffalo Bills stuff. And I know how you feel about the Buffalo Bills stuff.
Well, now see, he's good, man. He's good. He's always been great. He's always been great. Man, it's interesting. The thing with a dog is when you wave a treat and they do exactly what you want, you're like, well, it's a dog. They don't know better. Turns out I'm no better than a dog. Like, he just waved the treat, and here I am jumping over the rail to grab it. Dave, no, you bring up the Buffalo Bills. Now, what are we doing booking this team as a Super Bowl favorite? Now explain that to me, because I'm not really sure what are we doing? I'm not really sure what happened. Like, they beat the Lions. Awesome. Yeah. No doubt. They literally lost a week ago. Right?
Yeah. So they gave up 44 points a week ago.
They gave up, like, you know how the Lions defense is concerning, which it is? The Lions in the last 2 weeks have given up way less points than the Buffalo Bills have given up in the last 2 weeks.
Correct.
Again, I'm not telling you Buffalo should be 14-1 to win a Super Bowl. I think it should be difficult to be booked as the favorite. And I've watched, again, I haven't liked the way they've treated Detroit as if they were playing a different level of football throughout the season. Now Buffalo gets the move. And look, I won't bring Philly into this at all.
Whoa.
Buffalo is $2 in front of Kansas City?
Yeah.
Unless they announce Mahomes is out for the year, I'm not sure how we get to that number.
Listen, it's more than what's actually happening on the field. There are guys running around, scooping up all the Buffalo futures that they can.
I'm sure.
And they have been for weeks. And we had one on just last week on BVB, Tommy the Lip. Tommy the Lip came on and told everybody, go get the Buffalo, everything you can at 6-1, because after they destroy Detroit, that price is going to go down. Go get all the Buffalo to win the AFC you can, because it's going to be a minus, because they're going to be the favorite. When they beat the Lions, everything Tommy the Lip said was right. And he saw it coming. So the books
have taken the money to get to the point now where, K-Dub, if we're sitting in a risk room, you and I, as much as you want the Eagles to be the choice, to be the number one team, the favorite, I got to say, Kevin, did you see Mahomes limp off the field? Did you see all that tape they were putting on his ankle? Like, it's time to go get some Kansas City money, because this might be the year that the Bills go to Kansas City and actually win the AFC Championship if it's the two of them. The one that everybody's dismissing is Baltimore. They're just kind of passing on Baltimore. Baltimore's going to smoke the Steelers this week. You see the line, right? I mean, it's 6.5. They're going to win. And all the Pittsburgh money, you don't even have to move the number. Just leave it at 18-1, 20-1. Ain't nobody betting Pittsburgh. So if ain't nobody betting Pittsburgh and you already took a bunch of bets on KC, you got to move the Buffalo price. That's where it's coming.
Yeah, listen, it's an excellent breakdown. I'll just tell you this. The Baltimore price is actually upsetting me a lot, too. Like, they got 5 losses. I don't care that they hung it on Tim Boyle. All right? I'm not – this guy Lamar, not in my MVP race. No way. That's nuts. He stole one last year off MV Purdy. Now he's going to steal one off Josh Allen. This is mayhem. All right? I can't watch that play out.
Good thing they gave us all these segments today, because you're all over the place and you're all upset. The Yankees signed Cody Bellinger. I figured you'd be happy.
Honestly, I'm actually in a great mood. I'm just keeping it real. Maybe it's because Michigan State Oakland's on in front of me. I got no juice in that game. We got to move the TVs around. We'll do hockey next.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circus Sports Million, Circus Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With 2 former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
I'm actually not even on a side today.
Yeah.
And I'll get to that. Why are you on Texas?
I gave them a chance. Maybe not me as the overwhelming authority in college football, but entering that game on this set to you guys, I said there was one elite defense entering the matchup in Austin back to end out October. It's not the Bulldogs like it used to be. It is Texas.
College football today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, we're back right here, Game Time Decisions. And we should spin it around for a little ice. There's a 7:30 puck drop in Carolina. The Rangers are playing tonight. A little bit of a pooch in Nashville, which is interesting. Consig, what has the hockey season been like for you this year? You're enjoying it? You're still keeping tabs?
I am. It's crazy because the Penguins are just not the same. And It's not that you don't follow it as much because, when you're out here and the nights are a thing in Vegas and you got to pay attention. And, as we pass on the baton from baseball to hockey, those are the two sports for me, odds making and number wise, betting wise. There's a rhythmic pentameter to those seasons, a natural kind of thing. Starting pitcher equates to goalie a little bit. Teams go on stretches where there's streaks where they're playing good, like offensively in baseball, they're hitting good. And offensively in hockey, they're scoring more goals where they're playing really good defense. So you get some overs and unders. It's been good. It's been a lot of hit and miss, though. And there was a lot of preseason expectations on teams like the Rangers, like you just said. Also, tonight, the other preseason expectation was on Nashville. And my goodness, Nashville has been, I would argue, the biggest disappointment in the league for their preseason expectations. The Rangers aren't far behind. I looked at this number this morning and said, come on. This should be one of those ones where, say the opener goes in the book and puts up the opening number, and I come in for the mid shift and go, who's responsible for this? Who made? Are you guys not watching the games? The Predators got to be as high as minus a quarter. So the plus money with the Rangers looks good here. I don't know what to make of the Islanders. I always leave that to Kurtz. When he comes on in-game live, I like to ask Kurtz about that, and Carver too. The Islanders are a mystery more than anything. Carolina, one of the best teams in the game. Not always. They were at the beginning of the season. They went through their down little lull, and probably a play on them as a favorite tonight.
Okay.
The Devils against St. Louis coming up. That's got to be a good side too. Look, the best team in the Metro, where you're at, is the New Jersey Devils. They score, but the Blues are playing their best hockey this season, K-Dub. Over probably in this one. All the games at 5 o'clock. I hope we filled the hockey quota. I know you're a hockey guy.
Right.
But, we got all those in there. That's good.
No, that's beautiful. Can I give you my main hockey take of the season?
Please. I love this. Let me get my listing glasses. Hold on. Go ahead. Go.
So I wanted to dabble in the futures market. Ooh. And my favorite bet, if you remember, was Igor Shesterkin to have I'll be honest with you, I don't even remember the number of shutouts. 4 or 5, whatever it was.
6. I think it was 5.5, something I think we needed 6 to win it.
We could need 12. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Shuts out the Penguins opening night.
Yes.
And since then, the Rangers have had 2 more shutouts.
Not
and
him.
Both were with Jonathan Quick. I just can't figure that out for the life of me. I cannot figure that out for the life of me. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
How we went out there, grabbed one on day one, and we haven't been able to figure it out since. I'm not happy about it. Be honest with you. That's where I'm at.
Hey, this is where it happens. You pick the Skeens, and he goes out and throws a almost a complete game, no hitter, 6 innings, perfect game, his first time out on the road, and it just kept getting better. This one, unlike that, is not getting better. The Rangers are going to get fixed. I don't know what's going to have to happen. There may be, there might be some more internal changes coming. They had to make a trade. And
I got a new question.
A new question.
Now listen, I don't like doing this. I'm going into the Donnie bag of tricks, but I'll be honest. Who's this kid, Kirill Kaprizov? What is this about? Lost 115 to win the Hart? No shot. No way. This kid's cut. No way. How could that be? I'd like to think that. Kaprizov. If I'm thinking, I feel like I've heard the name. People, you want to talk about the most ignorant breakdown you're ever going to get. I'd like to believe I'd have to hear about this name a little bit more before he wins the MVP of the league. Come on. This can't be. What are the Wild? What are they, unbeaten? What's going on here?
They've lost a couple games. The Wild are one of the best teams in the league, let alone maybe win the West. This is one of those things. I'm just saying, you just went on a tirade. I saw you yesterday about these voting on awards thing. You and Lacey were screaming at each other. Sure. You want to get involved in the Hart Trophy market?
Well, no, but I like to just check in and see where McDavid is. Draisaitl 25-1. Any juice?
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circa Sports Million, Circa Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With two former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
I'm actually not even on a side today.
Yeah.
And I'll get to that. Why are you on Texas?
I gave them a challenge. Maybe not me as the overwhelming authority in college football, but entering that game on this set to you guys, I said there was one elite defense entering the matchup in Austin back to end out October. It's not the Bulldogs like it used to be. It is Texas.
College football today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, we're live with you right here on an NBA Cup Final Tuesday out in Vegas. So we've got boots on the ground at Dave Sharapan. The buzz in town, palpable. What's the story around the Cup?
So I was down there Saturday, got invited to go hang out and, do this NBA party and all this other stuff. And I got to be honest, it wasn't the buzz that I think they were expecting, or maybe the town was expecting. The golf thing is here going on right now out at Shadow Creek. So that's going on. The NBA Cup is going on tonight. There's, just a natural buzz in town from what's coming this weekend. The Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday of football, the buzz is real in the books for the football, K-Dub, not so much for the NBA Cup. But, word on the street is it's OKC. Just lay it. Don't even worry about it. They're going to win. It's going to be pretty comfortable. There might be a little bit of stretch where, the Bucks lead and you could jump in game. Me and Wetzel will be all over that in a little bit. But are you excited about this? I know I said it on Friday with Wetzel on the grid. All you had to do was bet Milwaukee minus the points Saturday and bet OKC minus the points and bet OKC to win the Cup. I gave them all out on Friday last week. I still feel that way. But are you excited about the Cup? Like, are you going to be watching this? Are you going to be tweeting about this? You've been on fire lately on the Twitter.
I appreciate it. Well, so we did our Take 5 NBA Cup edition, and the number one item on that Take 5 before the NBA Cup got underway was OKC outright 12-1. So, I'll be watching.
Live.
I'll be watching. I'll be on. Listen, we always call it real. I laid a little off on the Milwaukee money line. Respect for Giannis and Dame. I was thinking about this. I think there's a level of, for whatever reason, macho-ness that people will have when it comes to hedging. We're like, I'm not hedging that. I'm not hedging that. It's like, well, I don't really. Okay. I don't know what. Sure, you're not playing in the game. Like the objective. You do whatever you want. You don't have to hedge. But I still think sometimes it is this like dirty, almost cowardice thing. That's not the case. You're just making sure you're in the mix. positively.
Always in the mix.
Which is the goal.
Always in the mix. That's it. I mean, my life and career in this business is about reducing risk and limiting exposure and just keep it moving. Win a little or win a lot. When you got the nuts, you shove all in, like this past weekend, Cincinnati Bengals against the Titans. Thought it was such a good spot for the Bengals, and the Will Levis show was just, it's been working pretty good to go against. So you go, let's go Bengals. So I said it to somebody, I would have made it 7 and just let it sit there and take our shot while we can. When you sit on a 12-1 ticket and you have one more game to go, the least you could do is put enough on the other side so you don't lose anything and at least double your money. So, if you got 1 unit to win 12, bet 2 units on the other side plus money and guarantee yourself you doubled your money minimum. So you either win 10 or you win 2 and you get to enjoy the game. And then you can add to that position and go up or gamble and have Giannis beat you and complain or talk about the CLV that you got. I mean, you can do either one.
Well, and I'll tell you this, look, I know myself. Listen, I'm not someone like, I don't hedge always. And certainly for a long, I used to talk about it a lot and then get there and be like, nah, I love my side and just let it run. But I'll tell you what, I would then spend the whole game looking at the number. I wouldn't even watch a second of the game. And so let's say Milwaukee's up. I go, you know what, maybe I grab minus $250. I don't know. I should have grabbed it earlier. Or the OKC will be running. I go, should I grab 6-1? 7-1? But they're probably going to win. How's that fun? Who's having a good time doing that? Not me. I can only give it to you from, my personal view of it. I lean OKC tonight. I think they're the better ball club. Milwaukee's resume, college football style, not super strong. Super strong. So I think that this is a little bit of a step up. Don't forget, Orlando, they got rid of, not only without Paolo, Franz Wagner missed that game as well due to that injury. So if that's a Magic team that never probably would have been able to crash into the bracket portion of the Cup if the Franz injury had happened sooner. So just, something to keep in mind. And look, I've told people this before. I've talked to probably more about it on the radio side. Listen, it's all to each his own. I have really enjoyed taking the free bets that you get. No sweats. I mean, look, you'd rather win a no sweat, but that's not how it always goes, and flipping them into the futures market. Because you know what? Because, Dave, you're right. You're like, all right, so I got 1 to win 12, right? Well, I actually have nothing. But like, you could have a scenario I have nothing to win 12, right? I have nothing to win any. You know what I mean? And now you can be.
Shot. Now you can be a little more liberal with that.
Or now the hedge is like, I don't even have to cover the risk. Now it's just a free, it's profit. You know what I mean? Like, it's really nice. So, look, and they throw these no sweats out there all the time. They do, right? You can take your shot and you can run to the market. I've thrown a couple extra on Eagles Super Bowl. Now, there was a point I stopped because they finally caught up and moved the number.
Right.
No, I'm serious, right? But that's what I'm waiting for now is if they rule Mahomes out for the rest of the season, and I'll bet the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl with Wentz.
Now you're getting a little crazy.
What do you mean?
Welcome that. Come on in. Hey, I know you got the soft spot for Wentz. That's fine. You
know what?
All the
right.
You remember it all. That's fine. The free bets are to be used for exactly that. That's great. Yeah. You're doing the right thing. You're dispersing the units, putting yourself in position. We don't have that in Nevada. Vegas never really does that. So that's good. That's a back east thing or a Midwest thing, wherever you're listening or watching the show up in Canada. You should do that. Put yourself in position to profit on either side. Now, this one tonight, K-Dub, it's an NBA game. Would it surprise you to see Milwaukee win? What would surprise me to see this game go under again? Are we just like NBA Cup unders, just blindly bet them? I don't think so tonight. This game has juice, no?
I think it could. What I'll say is, and I've always the under trends, right? I know our guy Raheem was tweeting about him the other day.
Yeah.
If you've been clipping him, then you treat yourself to another under tonight. And if you lose, it's all good. It's been going great for you, right?
Right.
It just is what it is at that point. If you're walking in and you've not been betting on any of the trends, then yeah, I lean over as well, Dave, in the game. Not my favorite total of the year. I do want, and I can't, I want like some alt over like Lillard threes in the first quarter, but I don't think that's accessible, to be honest with you. Someone told Dame somewhere, like, hey, this counts as a ring. And I think Dame's pretty excited for the game now all of a sudden. I think he's got juice.
Can I ask you real quick? Did you see this new NBA All-Star Game format, Kevin?
I actually didn't take the time to read it. I didn't even take the time. I could read it during the break. I didn't. Yeah,
4 teams, 8-man teams. They're going to play 2 games to then play a final game. Pick up there's a lot going on. I was just curious if you'd seen it. Because I know you love the basketball, but I can't explain it. I don't know what they're doing to this game. I love that game. Good.
All right. Maybe I got to take a look. This is going to... All right, we'll take a look.
College football next, please.
You got it, Consig. We'll be right back.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
The 2 guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you've got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circus Sports Million, Circus Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With 2 former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
I'm actually not even on a side today.
Yeah.
And I'll get to that. Why are you on Texas?
I gave them a challenge. Maybe not me as the overwhelming authority in college football, but entering that game on this set to you guys, I said there was one elite defense entering the matchup in Austin back to end out October. It's not the Bulldogs like it used to be. It is Texas.
College football today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, we're with you right here on SportsGrid Game Time Decisions. Dave asked for me to take a look at the NBA format. I ran through it. Here's what I'll say. Whenever a tweet like that gets sent out, most people go, nah, what's going on here? This is terrible. Which then requires someone like me who will actually take the time to read it, try and understand what's going on, to let you know you will like this. You will like this. Games are to 40. Stakes. There should be effort, significantly more. The little draft show between Chuck Shaq and Kenny. People will like that.
Yes.
I will say there's no purity to it, right? Like, there's that. I will say there are old school videos you can show of an All-Star game where it's like, ooh, that looks cool. You won't have that under this umbrella now, but that has kind of been the deal for a bit. I think people will like this, and we'll leave it at that.
They're playing for cash, Kevin. They're playing for cash. Anytime you play for cash, I mean, if you put it works with the cup. It would work in a league. If they put you on a court, a team, and they let you back on the court, it would work for that too. And it wouldn't even have to be $125,000 for the winner.
I want to ask you something, Consig. I know you want to talk college football. I'm not going to go to the playoff. I want to go to Bill Belichick.
Okay.
You know this, right? The big books, when there's a big story, they love to attach a number to it if they can.
Yep.
So they popped UNC win total 6.5.
Love it.
And I got to think somebody in that room had a talking to, because that thing's 7.5 now. And usually, when they hang those numbers, they just kind of get to sit, right? And it's like, hey, like we hung it. Maybe we'll move juice a little. The fact that they hung the storyline number and had to flip it a whole win feels like somebody made a big mistake when they made that decision, in my opinion.
I don't know. I think, and without looking at the schedule, if they play 12 games, the number is, does he go better than 500? So the number's probably 7. So they said, oh, whoever put the number up and had the power, to sit in a chair. I mean, I sat in a chair in Curacao like 27 years ago. My guy Stormin Norman is actually DMing me and texting me right now, who's still down south somewhere doing something. I'm just glad he's alive. He's watching the show. He would know. We would have an argument. Me and you, not an argument, a discussion. We're not arguing when you and I are even doing the show now. We're not arguing. But I go, K-Dub, what is this? Is it 6 or is it 7? Well, because a lot of these companies don't like to put things on whole numbers, Kevin.
Yeah.
They defaulted to 6.5. So they go take the initial bet over, which most of the time, that's what you want. I need to know what the number is, the bottom. If I put 6.5 and somebody comes in with a limit play or a bag on under, I go, oh no, can't go much lower than that. So I'm good with 6.5. Are you good with him going there? Is this going to be good for the game? Is this going to be good for North Carolina? It's you're positive about all this?
Yeah, I think it's great. I think it's smart for him. I think college football is making inroads against the NFL that nothing else is really able to do.
It's better a lot of times. College football. Kevin, what's coming on Friday and Saturday is going to be gigantic for Handle.
Oh, yeah.
Gigantic for the business. They put on college football games during NFL games, and they're going to win. Tennessee, Ohio State, the whole day comes down to that game.
Yeah.
K-Dub. I mean, that's a monster.
It's a monster. The only shame is they still didn't get the format right.
True.
Expansion is much better.
Yes.
It's just a shame. I'll do this only because, Dave, I know how much you will, because I know.
Are you going to bash Penn State right now?
No, not at all. This is something that I know from working with you will fully agree with. If we took out Conference Championship Sunday and we put in 16 teams and we just went 1 through 16, no auto bids, none of that stuff, right? Here's what round 1 would have looked like, Dave. And I'm taking what the committee did, not my opinion. Oregon, Iowa State, Texas, Arizona State. Okay, maybe those aren't great. Penn State, South Carolina in Happy Valley. Yep. Okay. Notre Dame hosts Ole Miss. Oh, yeah. Georgia hosts Miami. I'm sorry, we have too many ratings. We don't know what to do with that game. 6 Ohio State hosts. You guessed it, Alabama. They might end the season right there. They're like, sorry, this is the best thing that's ever happened to anyone. Tennessee would host Boise. SMU would have hosted Indiana. I worry we missed a win. I don't know if it'll ever look that good. That's as good as it gets. And that's what we missed out on.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, that's
what I'm upset about.
I'm thinking of the numbers in my head, like how much the handle is going to be because the games are a little bit tighter spread, and then you stagger them out. They're all island games. They're not going on at the same time. The handle to the handle to the handle to the handle. There's one, maybe two blowout games, but there's some competitive football games.
Sure is.
In different venues.
Georgia, Miami.
All right, come on.
Love the
Let's
over.
Go. That's some.
Be honest.
That's some old. Yeah, that's an easy over. I think I'd make that thing in the 50s.
I think I'm
about
60, 61 and a half.
Oh, I know you may have gone a little too far. That's Georgia's defense still. You may have gone a little too far.
Kane's team total, best bet. Put it on the card. Sorry, what do you want from me? I don't know. I can't help myself. But
does a dog win of the first 4 games, Friday/Saturday? Do we get a dog outright?
You would think so. But what I'm wondering is there any chance that it's Clemson?
Oh, baby.
Is there? Because that's the one I do think. And look, based on the numbers, right? For everybody, it's like, all right, can we figure? A lot of people, it's like, hey, could SMU get upset or upset Penn State? Can Indiana upset Notre Dame? Texas is fine. And then Ohio State, Tennessee is kind of a real shift. We'll talk a little bit more about it. We've got Consig with us right here on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circa Sports Million, Circa Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With 2 former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
I'm actually not even on a side today.
Yeah.
And I'll get to that. Why are you on Texas?
I gave them a chance. Maybe not me as the overwhelming authority in college football, but entering that game on this set to you guys, I said there was one elite defense entering the matchup in Austin back to end out October. It's not the Bulldogs like it used to be. It is Texas.
College football today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, back with you right here on SportsGrid. Kevin Walsh. I'm with Dave Showerpan, the Consig. We're going to close it out just quickly. The college basketball that I bet tonight that did not start yet, that was going to be UCLA laying 33.5 for Prairie View A&M.
Wow, that's a big number.
I tried to do it with a straight face. I couldn't do it. I knew.
Is that the most points you've ever laid in a college basketball game?
Good question.
It's got to be. There's another game.
No.
Did I see your earlier card today? You took the 39.5?
Yeah, Georgia State against Auburn. Wait, hold on. I can tell you. Oh,
that hasn't started yet either.
Where's
Whoa.
Where's the
I've never
Texas game
seen a
this
fast.
year?
Look at this. George Mason plus 19.5. Georgia State plus 39.5 at UCLA.
There it is.
You laid the points there. Wow. These are big numbers.
Or was it Chicago
That's in
State?
the mix.
I think I laid the 30.5 with Texas against Chicago State, I want to say. Or was it against Houston? Yeah, I think, against Chicago State.
Prairie View A&M?
Yeah, we're laying at 33 and a hook. Team can't defend a lick.
Not.
Wow, love that game now. Electric. Look, NBA-wise tonight, a lot of, parlays, da-da-da-da-da. If you made me play some straight props, I'd look Lillard over his points, Hartenstein over the rebounds plus assists, like OKC. We're rooting in OKC to win this game.
Yes.
And then the bowl game, Dave, I don't know if you have any thoughts. I did lay the 5 with Memphis in that one.
You did? Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's one. All right. So for years, and now in the bowl season, it's become really
when the 4.5s are popping, I'm going to go nuts.
There we
I'm
go.
going to lose my
That's
mind.
what I'm saying. It went up, and it comes down. And, in the books, I mean, I've been on this side of the counter for a long, long time, and I've watched the line moves. And sometimes it just becomes really easy, and other times the book just takes the bets all the way up. It reached the top at 6, and here comes the West Virginia money. I don't know. No coach. Everybody leaving. I don't know what to do with the game other than over, KW. You love games with juice.
Yeah.
This game has to have the juice. This has to have a lot of business decisions being made, points galore. Enjoy the football game. I think this is an easy over, no?
I lean that way. And, Dave, I'll let you get on the way. I'll talk to you, but if not, enjoy the holidays, enjoy Christmas and everything. Appreciate you as always. Again, catch Consig on In-Game Live.
I'll see you on the streets of Twitter. We'll be out there. I'm always responding. And then happy holidays, you, the whole Walsh family, Sam in the back, the boys all over there. Yeah, I'll keep you posted. This Eagles team, they better win on Sunday, Kevin. Otherwise, I might come next week with the Washington stuff. I'm just saying.
Well, that's why I'm skipping town just in case. It's a tricky game.
See you in Arizona. After Penn State smokes SMU, we're playing Boise State. Double-digit favorites, Kevin.
Good luck to you, Dave. Good luck to you. Again, that's Dave Sharapan, Sportsbook Consigliere. He's going to be on In-Game Live next. I actually want to, again, just my own little tales. One of the reasons that I am making sure to bet the side in all these bowl games is I do think at times, for just myself, you know what, man, let me just grab the over or a team total or a prop. It's like an out. It's a little bit easier. Where, look, like side betting is still kind of the foundation of sports betting, right? And look, these bowl games obviously come with the level of trickery to them, mayhem and madness and who's in and who's out. And it's exciting to me. It is. So I think, look, if I didn't kind of give, again, myself my own little mini challenge, I would have come on here tonight. I would have bet this over, right? Probably would have bet the West Virginia team total, right? Hope, Root, Hennigan, throwing darts, and I got nothing to do. I like Memphis. Memphis ultimately, just because they opened at the wrong number doesn't mean they found the right number. I think this should be closer to a touchdown. It's not. Memphis is the better team. I think that you're going to get a much better effort. It's hard for these teams without their coach. It is hard for these teams without their coach. Make sure you're rooting in the Thunder out there. If you're a fan of the Take 5, and if you're a unit counter, OKC winning the NBA Cup will put the Take 5 in a lovely, lovely place. And that's where it deserves to be. It's been a blast here. We're going to hang out again on Thursday night football, AFC West Showdown. All right.
I'm actually not even on a side today.
Yeah.
And I'll get to that. Why are you on Texas?